That nigga, that nigga, war, your guy. A guy, that nigga, war there at all. As in, you don't deal loyal to them for 1 year, guy. 1 full year. What am I doing on ya? People are not what a time. When you come close to person, you go know them.
Okay, and hello. Hello everyone, and welcome back. I hope that you had a relaxing break and you are all ready to jump back into our session. So far we have covered the first two phases of the talent stewardship model, acquire, including identifying, place, and assess. So in the acquire phase, enterprises determine their strategic talent need and position employees accordingly. Then, in the assess phase, they evaluate employees' current performance, work assessment, and their potential for future roles, potential assessment against job standard and requirements. So the outcome from the phase assess lay the groundwork for creating individuals' development plans, which lead us into the third phase, develop. So talent development is crucial for enhancing employee engagement and is a key driver of organizational growth. So in today's section, we'll dive into the develop phase and focus on its core component, learning and development, L&D, outlining the detailed step involved in this process. So by the end of this session, you will be able to first understand the definition, strategic role, and key concept of L&D. Explore the L&D value chain and its link to performance appraisal, which is related to the previous phase, assess. Then you will be able to learn the ADD model, from need analysis to evaluating training effectiveness. Then design and implement the training programs aligned with the company goals. And finally, you will be able to analyze the emerging trend and the influences of remote work, hybrid models, and evolving workplace learning. So now let's get started. So investing in people development is crucial for retaining talent and enhancing business performance. This involves programs and initiatives that help employees grow their skill and knowledge, aligning personal development with business goals. So learning and development, or L&D, plays a key role in this process, acting as a vital HR function and a core part of a company's overall people development strategy. By focusing on enhancing employees' capability and work performance, L&D not only improves productivity and competitiveness, but also help address skill shortage. Now, after understanding the nature and key characteristic of learning and development, or L&D, so in your opinion, what benefit do you think it will bring to both enterprises and individuals? Or in other words, why learning and development matters? So what do you think, Ms. King? Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, good morning, Chair. For what benefits, for me, learning and development benefits can be in both organizations, and like for example, like improve performance or productivity and also talent attraction and retention. Because employee with like enhanced skills contribute more effectively, and also company that invest in employee growth retain top talent. So for organization, I think talent attraction and also innovation and adaptability also can bring like learning foster innovation and help business stay competitive. And also, and for individuals, I think it can be made like career growth and advancements, because enhanced skills and leading to promotion can be made and new opportunities. And also employee can feel more engaged and confident in their roles. Yeah, yes.
Good job, good job. Actually, very informative ideas from both the organizational view and the individual aspect. And I heard that you mentioned the learning and development will assist the enterprises to improve the individual productivity and performance. So could you please elaborate more specifically on this? In what way that learning and development can contribute to that goal?
In what way?
Yeah. How
Uh,
can learning and development can enhance the individual productivity and performance?
it's like for me, for example, skill enhancement and competency building, like then programs equip employee with necessary skills, knowledge, and also expertise required to perform their tasks efficiently. So, like whether it's technical skill or soft skills or leadership training, continuous learning can help individuals stay competent and adaptable. And also for work quality, like without trainings, employee learn best practice, can learn best practice. So time management technique and also other problem solving strategies, it can be lead to like fewer error and also faster of text, and also improve overall work quality.
Yeah, really good point. And have you ever joined any learning and development programs in your company? Tell me about it.
Actually, for me, when I have my first experience of working, honestly, I don't have like specific training period. Just learn from senior and like work test how the work process going, and also after no experience in like good training before I really work, just learning from seniors and also other staff. Yes, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that learning from others, like from your co-workers or your line managers. So,
Yeah.
compared to traditional training classes, which one do you think is better and it contributes more significantly to your personal development?
For me, honestly, I think both are good, and also
Yeah.
learning from senior also can go, because we can know more quickly than training period. But also in training period we can learn everything in details. Which process after what process next will come. So I think both is better. So having taken a training period can also more professional, and also learning from like coworker and line manager can sometimes they are not patient, to they just tell just short words after this is like that and this is like that. But training can be in more details. Just in my opinion.
Okay, it's good, really good. Actually, I think I find your point about the combination of the training classes and learning from others particular interesting. Actually, later in this session, we will learn about the 10, 20, and 70 model, which suggests a combination between training classes, learning from others, and learning from your job. And the combination of three kinds of learning will enhance the effectiveness of your skill enhancement. And I think that the experience from Ms. Kim can prove that this model is really effective in practice and significantly contribute to the skill improvement of the individuals. So thank you so much, Ms. Kim, for your very informative and insightful opinion. Thank you so much.
Yes, Chair, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the importance of pupil development arises from the significant advantage it brings to both enterprises and individual. So from organizational perspective, firstly, it's driving the business performance. As Ms. Kim has mentioned, the L&D will contribute to the enhanced productivities and performance of individual. As you may aware that a well-trained, multi-skilled workforce is essential to economic survival, increase share market performance, competitiveness, and profit. Secondly, improving customer service. So investment in human resources lead to better customer satisfaction and service quality. Thirdly, by providing employees with opportunities to develop skill, especially in innovation, the company will be able to enhance its competitive edge. And finally, as Ms. Kim mentioned that by investing in the learning development activities, the companies will be able to retain top talent. And actually that highlighting a strong pupil development initiative in the HR strategy will contribute to attract, retain top talent, and also strengthen employer branding. And offering development opportunities will enhance job performance, career growth, satisfaction, commitment, and reducing turnover. So from the individual perspective, improving job capability and security, the learning and development programs equip both new and existing employees with the skill to perform effectively, fostering a sense of fairness and job security. Secondly, we are, as an employees, always look for opportunity to grow and enhance our employability. With rapid technological and workplace changes, personal development is essential to develop, to survive in evolving environment. So continuous learning helps employees stay relevant and adaptable amid restructuring and advancement. So it contributes to the work readiness in the future. So in our first session, we learned about the Baxter model, which introduces external factors and internal components, such as organizational system, strategies, structure, and culture that influence HRM activities. So can you provide examples illustrating how these external and internal components can create a need for learning and development activities? So what do you think, Miss Thin Line?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
How they
Based on as an internet factors can create.
Yes, so for your reference, I show the best model, including some element like presented on the slide, and the internal factors, including 4 components on the slide. So just tell me that how these external and internal factors can create a need for learning development. Now, for example, in what way that changes in the economic factors can lead to the increase or decrease in a need for learning and development, do you think?
For me, I think, in my opinion, technology needs learning and development. Because today is a rapid growth in every area. So sometimes we need to follow up the the modern technology. Sometimes when we have the when the employee cannot track the growth of the technology, the company may be impacted with the I think, how can I say, with the old method to be deployed in short time.
Okay, so you mentioned the component of best model technology. Okay,
Yeah.
so the technology is developing significantly, and the technological advancement has influenced all of the aspect of the HR. So speaking of learning and development, or in particularly the way that you learn and develop yourself, do you think that technology will contribute significantly to enhance your ability to learn and absorb new information, and how?
I think it may be e-learning or online training, because it's better than the traditional way. We can save time and energy and also budget. So
Okay, so I heard that you mentioned e-learning. Yeah, you said that e-learning is beneficial because it saves time, and maybe it's more beneficial to individuals compared to traditional learning. So could you please explain more specifically on this? Are there any benefit that the online learning can bring to the student in comparison with the traditional learning?
yeah, I think traditional way, such as the classroom learning or some kind like that, maybe cost to the employer. What I mean is that we need to have the space for the employee to learn to learn new training or some kind like this. Yeah, at the time when we have online learning, we don't need to have a specific space or specific space, or we can say energies and time, and also cost to prepare that training. Yeah. So at the time, and also online learning, online learning may be taken whenever you have time, and
Yeah.
uh, uh, if you have time enough to learn, it's okay online learning. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of benefits that the online learning can bring to the individuals, and I really agree with that. Yeah, totally agree. The online learning can save the individual time and energy, as we don't have to commute to the learning spaces. We can learn at home and learn with our own pace without having to keep up with other um, in the traditional classroom. So, beside the benefit, there are some aspects, there are some disadvantages, there are some drawbacks that the online learning can bring to the learners. So, as the person who experienced online learning, e-learning, what challenges did you face when you experienced that kind of learning?
I think sometimes we can be demotivated. What I mean is that online learning, we cannot absorb totally by online learning. We at the time we make some lectures, and also we cannot understand some lecture at the time. Online learning makes me depressed about lecture, and also there's many ways to learn to study lectures, but all the other ways are made by ourselves, so we have to afford mesh by myself, and sometimes we cannot get to the point because we don't have to ask someone directly. So
Okay, got it. So you mentioned that sometimes learning online can be demotivating, can be depressing sometimes. So how did you overcome this kind of feeling when you learn online? How you
uh,
overcome these emotions?
I want to mention about this class because all the cases that we are learning in this class is everything is news to me. So sometimes we cannot understand what we are talking about that subject at the time. It's okay. We take a how can I say, we sip or we take a note on this lecture, and after that we have to start from the beginning of the lecture, and we cannot follow I cannot follow this lecture in time. It's okay. Step by step, maybe affected in one day. So
I got it.
um,
Okay, so actually I really appreciate your sharing. Learning online can have some challenges that we as a learner have to find ways to overcome it. But remember, you have your instructor. So whenever you think that, okay, I'm exhausted, I am demotivated, and I'm just afraid that I cannot keep up with my classmate, just ask for help. You can send an email to the instructor to ask for personal assistance. I think if I am your instructor in a particular course, I'm willing to help And it's important that the instructor know that you are struggling with your lecture. Okay, so if you need any help, just ask for help. Okay, don't struggle with the lecture. Just ask for help to save your time and energy. Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Thin Lai, for your sincere sharing and informative answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. Okay, so L&D L&D are essential in adapting to various business and social and legal and technological changes. So you can see that in today dynamic business environment, L&D align with business strategies to foster growth and maintain a competitive edge. For example, now you can see that luxury hotels and retailer must ensure their front line staff have strong product knowledge, excellent customer service skill, and professional appearance to stand out from competitors, and learning and development by providing sufficient knowledge and essential skill can contribute to achieve that goal. Secondly, the changes in social attitude, legal regulation, and industrial relation will create a new training need. For example, an aging population and declining educational performance contribute to skill shortage. Some issues like bullying, substances abuse, sexual harassment, and diversity management require specialized training for employees and managers to navigate these challenges effectively. And yes, the factors that Ms. Thin Lai has mentioned, the technology, rapid technological advancement require continuous upskilling and reskilling to prevent the employees outdated. So you can see that the rise of automated system and data technologies means employees must adapt to new tools and processes. Both individuals and enterprises must learn faster than their competitor to stay relevant. And we will explore the influence of technology on L&D in more detail later in this section. So speaking of the internal factors, from the latest trend in human resource management discussed in our first class, we can see clear shift in how enterprises approach structure and talent development. Now, companies are moving toward the participative network design that emphasize both accountability and creativity, using people strategies as a competitive advantage. So the boundaries between the individual jobs are blurring, with more emphasis on team accountability and flexible multi-skill job design. The business success increasingly depends on the quality of employees. So regardless of whether the goal of the company is productivity, quality, or innovation, these strategies rely on a workforce with the right skill and commitment, highlighting the need for continuous employee development. So there is a growing preference for a skill-based model over a traditional job-based approach, where roles are defined by skill rather than just job title. This transition, highlighted in a recent Deloitte survey, shows that skill-based practices lead to better business outcomes. The focus is on individuals who possess a strong foundation of knowledge, practical skill, and personal attribute needed to succeed. The KSA, which stands for Knowledge, Skill, and Abilities framework, is key to this approach, setting individuals apart and helping them excel in their roles. So K stands for knowledge, refers to a person's theoretical understanding and industry-specific expertise. For example, an architect should understand the design principle, building regulation, and construction techniques to make informed decisions. S for skill are the practical ability gained through education and experience. For example, a software engineer needs programming skill in languages like Python or Java and problem-solving ability to create effective solutions. And finally, A for abilities or attribute. It is personal attribute and talent such as critical thinking, creativity, adaptability, and teamwork, so on. For example, a marketing manager requires creativity, strong interpersonal skill, and the ability to adapt to changing market trends. So now just pretending you are a CEO hiring an HR manager for your company. So when considering the requirements for an HR manager's position, which specific skill, knowledge, and abilities do you prioritize when you choose a candidate for this position? So, what do you think, Mr. Danny?
Good morning.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. When I'm employing someone for an HR position, I think I will pick the skills, the skills, because I will need a person to be able to solve problem that the company will be facing, and that person is the one in charge of the whole human resource department. So if that person is not able to solve realistic problems, there's really going to be a whole issue within the company or the organization. So for me, I will specifically pick someone who has a very high quality in the skills aspects. High quality of the skill aspect rather than the knowledge and the ability. So that's what I think, and that's what I'll pick in considering an HR person.
Yeah, a good point. So actually, human resource managers have to deal with people-related matters. So problem-solving skill, especially for the people-related matters, will be the essential skill that the successful HR managers must possess to succeed in this position. And yes, I think that it's a really a good point here. But I want to ask more. So you said that you will prioritize this quality when choosing a candidate for the HR manager position. So how can you evaluate a candidate ability in the problem solving skill? In what way? How can you evaluate that skill from a candidate?
Okay. Definitely, I'm going to consider all the three aspects. But I was saying that maybe the skill aspect will be the one that will be of high value for me as a CEO. So with the other abilities too, I'm also going to really consider it. So to the extent that I'll make sure the person will be able to have the ability to do the work, and it's not just only about just problem solving. Maybe the person can be able to solve a problem, but it will be very difficult to do the HR work because everyone has his own specific talents or God-given talents. So I'm also going to consider the ability aspect too as an HR person. That's what I
Yeah, I understand. Now, yeah, actually considering three aspects of the KSA is essential to evaluate the candidate comprehensively. But now, just speaking of the problem solving skill that you have mentioned already, just pretending that you are a CEO and I am a candidate for the HR position. So my question is that when talking to me, when having a conversation with me, how can you evaluate the level of my skill proficiency? How can you evaluate whether I am good at problem solving skill?
All right. So to evaluate your level of skills, I'm going to maybe use a case study or maybe a problem that has happened within the company concerning the workers. To ask you a question, and if you're able to provide me with a right answer that resolve the problem, then that means you are really good in you are really good in solving you have the skills in solving the problem when it comes to human relationship. So if I'm going to use a problem within the company or any other company that concern human relationship to ask you, then the feedback that I'll get from you, that will be the my response to hiring you or not.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Danny. I really love how the way that you connect the evaluation of problem solving skill with the use of case study and problems. Actually, you mentioned two kinds of interview question that we have already learned in our previous lesson: the situational interview question and the behavioral question. The formers will ask the interview the just the situation and ask the interview to give their solution or the answers. But for the behavioral question, the interviewers will mention the past experience of the candidate to understand their reaction, their responses to the real life case, and the combination of two kinds of question will help the interviewers evaluate comprehensively on the candidate ability for the specific skill. And in the previous email, I have sent all of you the collection, the consolidation of the interview question from the HHIM, one of the biggest HR association from the US. So you can refer it at home. There are some interview questions I think that is useful for you to utilize in the interview to evaluate the candidate ability. So thank you so much, Mr. Danny, for your contribution. So in addition to problem solving skill that Mr. Danny had mentioned and explained to the class, so what are some skill or knowledge or ability do you think the successful HR manager should possess? So what is your opinion, Mr. Sino? Mr. Sino, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about your opinion.
Okay, company size. Hello?
Yes. Please repeat your answer. I cannot hear you clearly.
I said my opinion that they are that I prioritize the company size, company website. Because company size.
And what do you think is important?
Yeah. It is a small startup, inside company or large enterprises.
So, could you please give me an example? Why do you think that is important for this position? Mr. Sino, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm here, ma.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So please give me an example. How do you think that the skill or knowledge you mentioned is essential for this position?
It will determine on the employment rate based on the size, following the size, working with the size.
Okay, so well, thank you so much, Mr. Sino, for your opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so Mrs. Emma, you raised your hand, so please share your opinion.
All right, thank you very much. So, if I'm a CEO or CTO of a company, from the illustration you just gave, if I'm to hire an HR manager, I'll first look out or use the formula for L&D, which is a knowledge, skills, and ability. So for knowledge, I would go for an HR who has a degree or master's in HR, or someone who has an educational academic background in business administration. So because I would need someone who understands the nitty-gritty of running a business establishment or conglomerate. Then on the side of skills, I would look out for someone who has technical skills in all the relevant and current HR tools to enable the processes of retention, acquiring, assessing, and staff development. So because for me to hire an HR manager, I'm hiring someone who would also bring value to the company by because an HR officer is somebody who would do the hiring process or talent acquisition for the company. He or she would also be in charge of managing humans or managing people. So I would look out for an HR who has ability of empathy, someone whose emotional intelligence is top notch, someone who understands the behavioral patterns of people, someone who has an understanding of organizational structure and strategy, someone who has understanding of organizational culture. So someone also who understands um, the importance of company values and goal and business goals. So if I'm hiring an HR, these key components of knowledge, skills, and abilities would come to place because that would be a balance for my establishment.
Yeah, actually very impressive. I'm so happy that you can pick out some of the key components, key factors when considering a candidate for the HR manager's position. Being empathy, emotional intelligence, and the knowledge of acquiring, assessing, and developing employees is essential when taking this position. And I think that the company, yeah, agree with you that the combination of the knowledge, skill, and ability will be crucial to succeed in this position, as the HR managers is a bridge between the company and the employees. So thank you so much, Ms. Emma, for your opinion. Yeah. Okay, so in addition to what Ms. Emma has already mentioned, Mr. Samuel, anything to share? Why do you think that law and compliance will also be essential for the position?
Good morning, Miss Sophie. I think why hiring a HR for my organization, I'm assuming I'm a CEO or a business owner. For me to hire a HR, I need to look into the knowledge, skills, and abilities. But the one I must have to prioritize is the knowledge. Because if someone has that knowledge and understanding of a particular job, the person will perform excellently well. So when I made mention of HR with law, human resource law and compliance, I actually meant you need to hire someone who has an in-depth understanding of labor law, workplace regulations, and compliance requirements. As a HR, you intermediate between both the organization and the outsiders, which happens to be the clients. Okay. And also, you intermediate between the business owner and the employee as well. You need to understand there are a governing law that has to do with business operation in a certain demography location. And also, you need to understand that there is organizational rules and regulations that need to be kept. Let me take for an instance, in a workplace, there shouldn't be any emotional relationship between staff. If you are a HROM and you don't understand this policy, I think you're bound to make mistake. You will see a kind of some kind of relationship going on between two of your employees, which is not acceptable in a is not a very good work ethic. So, and you also need to understand the requirements that is needed for an organization to function within a demography or a location or in a country. You need to understand their labor law precisely, what and what the company need to do, their do's and don'ts. So you need to have this knowledge as a HR. So if I'm hiring a HR, I will look out for, just like Mr. Emma said, that he will consider hiring a HR who has a BSc or is a who studied business administration, because these key courses will enhance his or her performance while discharging his or her duty in an organization. So another thing I will take a good look at, there are HR practices and policies, as I said earlier. Employee life cycle is something a HR needs to consider. The mental health of your employee on board, just like when you want to onboard an employee, when like a kind of when you want to recruit when you want to recruit, you need to consider someone's background, someone's mental health, someone's location, because time management is a key for a functional organization. If you are not time conscious, if you can't manage your time very well, you are bound to be an error to the organization. So you need to consider their locations, the nearness or farness from their where they live to where the company is. There are things to consider. The life cycle of your employee, you need to consider it very well. So, and again, when I come to the skill, I need someone who has a good communication skill. Organization cannot function without communication. within or outside the organization. Let's take, for instance, if there is a problem in the organization between two staff, and this problem was presented to you, as a HR, how do you communicate? How do you drive to a decision? You need to have a good commanding verbal communication skill. You need to also have a strong written communication skill. For the sake of, if there is a contribution or anything you have to make outside the organization, you are dealing with a client that wants to patronize or that wants to come in collaboration with your company, you need to communicate very well to that person. So having this skill for conflict resolution, you need to be a good skilled communicator. Then I will also try to consider, like, this one, I don't play with it. For me personally, I don't, even in an organization, I will always, if I'm an employee, I will always try to portray this behavior. I will always like leadership skill, leadership. I don't play with it. So I need to employ someone who has a leadership quality, someone that can lead, someone that can mentor the HR team. Because when you are a HR is not just one person. HR is a department that has to do with different talents. Because we have the HR specialist, we have the HR technician, we have all sort of not HR in a HR department. So if you cannot lead a HR team, how can you align? How can you initiate? How can you initiate idea that works in line with the business goals? So you need to have this leadership quality for me to hire you as my HR manager. So lastly, for the abilities, there are so many abilities. Adaptability, someone that is ready to learn, someone that is ready to adapt to the organizational structure and their way of handling issues, because there is a stand order before you came, and that stand order must be maintained after you leave. So you must have to work in line with what the organization has presented to you. The only good thing that you can do as a good HR is to effect some little change that will resonate to the organizational goal. Then Mr. Emmanuel spoke of empathy and emotional intelligence. You need to have a strong emotional awareness. You need to know what is happening to your employee, what the organization is lacking, what they are suffering from, and how you intend to solve the problem. So you need to be within the organization. You don't really need to be outside, because when you're outside the organization, you cannot know what is happening exactly at any point. So you need to free yourself from any form of how will I say, sense of loss. You just need to be within the organization to understand and support your employees' need and organizational need. So finally, you need to be a data analyst. You need to have a proficiency in analyzing metrics and using data to drive decision, just like the KPI. Good HRM who doesn't have a good data analysis cannot create a proper KPI for its employees or for the organization. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, for your very informative contribution and explanation. Actually, the understanding the labor law is essential for all people managers, especially HR managers, to design and enact the internal policies appropriately. Additionally, I really love the way that you connect the idea of the employee life cycle and the requirements for the HR managers, especially being empathy and possessing the emotional intelligence to enhance the employee's experience throughout their life cycle in the companies. Yeah, and the communication skill is also essential because the internal communication contributes significantly to spreading the HR message to all of the employees. So having the proficient communication skill will enable HR manager to convey the message in the most suitable and effective way. So thank you so much, all of you, to contribute to this question. And I think that people managers in general, and specifically the HR managers, require a comprehensive set of skill, knowledge, and ability to succeed in the position, especially when it comes to people-related matters. So normally, you can see that the HR department utilize the KSA model across several key functions, helping to improve the recruitment, onboarding, training, and development. And there are some explanation on how it can be utilized in practice. For example, in recruitment, like the question that I asked you earlier in this class, how can you use the KSA to evaluate the suitability of the candidate with the HR manager position? And your answer, your response illustrates that the KSA serves as requirements to assess a candidate ability for the specific role, serve as a benchmark for appraising their qualification and fit for the specific position. So in onboarding, the KSA help identify skill gap that need to be addressed during onboarding. New hire receive the targeted training to fill this skill gap, ensuring that they integrate effectively into their role. For instance, a salesperson might need training on product knowledge, communication skill, negotiation skill, and customer relationship management. KSA are instrumental in identifying gap between the employee current skill and what is needed for optimal performance, thus helping guide future training and development. The KSA contribute to design the relevant training programs based on feedback, performance evaluation, and skill gap analysis. The KSA contribute to match the mentors and mentees effectively. For instance, a senior manager with strong leadership skill may mentor a junior employee looking to develop similar abilities. So it fosters growth and development through shared expertise between these two employees. So main function related to this phase, learning and development. So both learning and development are crucial for employee growth and success, but they serve distinct purposes. So learning focuses on acquiring knowledge, skill, behaviors, and attitude that improve immediate job performance. So this process can occur through activities such as seminar, training classes, classroom, conference, hands-on experimentation. Development, on the other hand, is about deepening knowledge and growing ability aligned with long-term professional goals. It aims to enhance an employee's potential for future opportunities. Related activities include mentoring, leadership coaching, job shadowing, and taking on challenging assignments. Unlike learning, development is often self-initiated and future-oriented. So in brief, The key differences are learning address short-term, immediate need, while development take a broader long-term approach. So you may come across the terms training and learning, which differ in essence. So learning is an ongoing process of absorbing and retaining information, which broaden individual perspective for both application and development. So it involves continuous growth and can be facilitated by others or self-directed. Training is a targeted instruction event designed to teach employees a specific skill or task. It typically focuses on work-related scenarios, such as learning how to use new process, new system, follow safety procedures, or improve customer service skill. Training is often conducted in groups and can take place on-site, off-site, or online. So in short, learning is a continuous process, while training is a more of a specific structured event aimed at immediate skill acquisition. So this slide is available for reference, showing a table that outlines the distinction between related terms such as education, training, learning, and development for comprehensive understanding. So you can refer it at home after the class. So we come to the second section, a strategic approach to learning and development. So to create real value, the L&D activities should be firmly rooted in a strategy that is directly aligned with the business goal. The company must provide learning opportunity to ensure that their employees' KSA, knowledge, skill, and ability, meet both current and future business needs. So when L&D is closely linked to the business strategy, learning is more likely to drive job outcome, improving organizational capabilities, and generating a measurable business influence. So effectiveness is maximized when training activities are preceded by thorough need analysis and follow through with a structured approach rather than occurring on an ad hoc basis. This method allows HR to demonstrate how training and development align with and support strategic business objectives. A logical sequence is key for maximizing the influence of L&D. Assessment means identify the required KSA, who need them, when, and where they are needed to establish clear training objectives. Secondly, training activities means that the company select the suitable training method and learning principles to address the identified need in the previous step assessment. And finally, evaluation. Assess how well the training activities meet the set objective and their influence on job performance. Now, we will explore the connection between the assessment and the training or the learning development activities to highlight how they drive effective training outcome. So in the previous section, we covered two key outcomes of job analysis: job description, JD, detailing tasks and working conditions, and job specification, JS, outlining the required knowledge, skill, and abilities. So JD set the criteria for measuring job performance, while JS identify what factors predict the success in a role. So together, they form the foundation for evaluating employees, identifying their strengths, weaknesses, and skill gaps. By comparing the desired state of capability, job standard, with the current state, actual performance, the company can create focused learning and development plans for individuals. So typically, the businesses use a comprehensive evaluation approach, combining performance appraisal, job outcome, can do, skill and ability, and will do, motivation and attitude, assessment to determine an employee's overall capability. The desired state is defined by job criteria and business need, influenced by the company's vision, strategy, and yearly goal. So this method allows for a personalized learning and development approach rather than a one-size-fits-all model. So it considers the unique skill gaps and career goals of each employee, tailoring learning to their specific need. This customized learning system is built around a standardized framework for specific roles, but employees only engage in training modules that address identified gaps. This personal approach not only aligns with the individual need and expectation, but also reduces the time required to bring employees up to the desired skill level. So now let's take a closer look at how companies typically evaluate an individual current state or capability in a comprehensive manner. So this table highlights key aspects of evaluation, including sources of information and use method. Certain demographic information such as age, years of experience, or educational background can help predict individual development trend. The critical component of this evaluation is can-do, will-do assessment, where companies employ various methods and tests to gain a broad view of individual current ability. While these steps can be time-consuming, they are essential to ensure that learning efforts are focused, appropriate, and well-rounded. Now, we come to the most important part of our learning session, the EDDI model, the 5-stage training process. So the EDDI model is a widely recognized framework used in L&D for instructional design, guiding the process from analysis to the delivery of learning content. Originating in the 1970s, it remains a dominant method due to its simplicity and effectiveness. So EDDI stands for Analyze, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. So each stage in a model must be executed in sequence, with reflection and feedback playing a crucial role at every step to support continuous improvement. Here is a brief overview of each phase. Analysis means we identify the training need and objective. Design, we create the overall training programs, including curriculum and instructional design. Development, we developed the training material and resources. Implementation, roll out the training program to the target audience. And finally, assess or evaluation, assess the effectiveness of the training in achieving its objective. So the EDDI models provide a systematic and structured approach to designing effective learning experiences. It ensures that the training activities are aligned with the identified need and allow enterprises to measure success through well-defined job behaviors, skill, and knowledge outcome. Now we come to the first phase of this model, analyze. In the first stage, known as the analyze stage, the goal is to identify the problem the company needs to address. It could be anything from low shell to a lack of inclusivity or insufficient skill for digital transformation. So a training need analysis or TNA in brief is key to pinpointing the learning and development areas that will close the performance gap and support business goals. This analysis helps clarify the gap between current and the desired skill, knowledge, and ability. With this information, the company can set learning objectives, design training, and create a plan that covers who, what, when, where, why, and how of the training. At this point, the company can also determine whether the issue, the problems can be resolved, can be addressed through training, or if other organizational development strategies are needed. The slide includes key questions to guide this process, including: will the training be effective in, firstly, what is the desired change? Secondly, will the training be effective in creating this change? Thirdly, why should we do it? And finally, what is the purpose of the training? So now I have a question for you. When you observe a decline in your subordinate performance, what step will you take? Do you believe in that enrolling them in a training course or development program can lead to the immediate improvement? So, Mr. Elias, what is your opinion? I guess that from your experience, you haven't had your subordinate yet, but just pretending that you are in the class and you notice that some of your students witnessed a decrease in their study performance. So what will you do? What step will you take?
Hello,
Yeah,
Miss Sophie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So so in an academic role, so I would decline in a subordinate performance that requires like a strategic and supportive approach. First, I would assess whether the issue stems from a lack of understanding, motivations, like external factors. So, like engaging in a constructive dialogues to identify challenges, and I will set clear goals. I think it is crucial. So when enrolling them in a training courses, I think it can enhance their skills and immediate improvements depend on consistent practice and applications. And like a well-rounded approach, um, including personalized coaching, structure feedback, and continuous learning opportunity. I think that may ensure sustainable growth and development in both language proficiency and professional performance.
Okay, Mr. Elias, I heard that you mentioned the keywords motivation. So if the problems of the decline in your student performance come from the motivation, do you think that enrolling or sending them to another class will handle this problem?
So if subordinate declines in performance, the approach, it will needs to be different. So as an instructor, I know that skills can be taught, that motivation must be originate. The first step is understanding why it is burnout or lack of recognitions or unclear goals. So I engage in an open conversations, showing like empathy and offering encouragement. So setting small achievable milestones, it will help rebuild confidence, recognitions, and positive reinforcements. So it will go a long way in making someone feel valued. So while training can refresh skills, its the true improvements happen when individuals feel inspired and see purpose in their work. So motivation isn't just about pushing harder; it's about regenerating passions and creating an environment where they want to improve.
Yeah, really love that. Thank you so much, Mr. Elias. But there are some really good keywords that I want to pick out from your answer. That when you notice the decline in your student performance, instead of sending them to other classes, you will engage in a open conversation to understand the reason, encourage them. And I really like the words sense of purpose, the purpose of their work. So from your experience, how can you motivate your learners? How can you enhance um, this sense of purpose from your learners to uh, improve their learning experience, their learning performance?
When I notice a decline in a student performance, my first instinct isn't just to pinpoint the reasons. It is to take actions. You know, instead of simply asking why, I focus on how I can support and re-engage them. I start by adjusting my teaching strategies and incorporating more interactive activities like real world applications, or even changing the pace of match their needs. I provide target feedback, ensuring they know exactly what to improve and how to do it. Sometimes motivation is the issues, so I create an encouraging environment where students feel seen and valued. Um, Training alone isn't always the solutions. What truly drives improvements is combinations of support, engagements, and the right learning approach. So it's about motivating learners isn't just about telling them to try harder. It's about creating an environment when they want to learn. First, I connect like lessons to real life applications, showing students how what they are learning matters beyond the classroom. I use interactive activities, discussions, and technologies to keep them engaged. Yeah, but recognizing their process, no matter how small, boosts their confidence and keep them moving forward. So most importantly, I bring energy and passion to my teaching because motivation is contagious. Once students see enthusiasm, they respond to it. The key is not just to teach, but to inspire.
Yeah, really love that. Really love that. And I think that have learned a lot from you, Mr. Elias, from the teaching approach. Actually, I really love the way that you changing your approach from not asking why, but asking how I can support my student more effectively. And you mentioned that training alone is not the answer for the problems for the employees or for the student in the class? Yes, totally agree. And I love that you say that what trying the student learning is a combination of the teacher support, the engagement, and the right learning approach. Yes, it's really, really impressive. And I think that using training as a solution can be beneficial, but immediate improvement aren't always guaranteed. The L&D effort only produce results if the root cause is related to a lack of knowledge, skill, and ability. Therefore, when performance decline, it is crucial to take the approach like Mr. Elias mentioned already. Firstly, assess the real cause, the real issue, the root cause of the problems by having a conversation, by engaging in a one-on-one dialogue with the student or with the employees before implementing any solution. Otherwise, resources could be wasted without resolving the problem. So thank you so much again, Mr. Elias, for your very impressive opinion.
Thank you, Miss.
Okay. So the need for a training need analysis often arises from a broader organizational issue. One key outcome of the TNA process is identifying the L&D locus of control, the extent to which L&D can help resolve or handle challenges the company faces. That's related to the previous question that we have discussed already. Do you think that the training programs can bring the immediate improvement in the employee's performance? So the locus of L&D control refer to how much influence L&D initiative have in addressing problems. If the root cause lies in a lack of knowledge, skill, or ability, L&D can be effective in handling the problem. However, if the problem stems from the broader organizational factors, such as a misalignment between work and rewards, leading to the reduced motivation, or a mismatch between product strategy and customer need, L&D alone won't be enough. These broader problems might require organizational intervention, such as those outlined in the slide, like human process, HR management, techno-structural, or strategic change. L&D, why crucial? It's just a one part of the larger HR management intervention. So in the world of L&D, the companies often face a common reality. Why do so many enterprises invest heavily in training, yet still fail to see the desired outcomes or fix the problems? Why is training often viewed as a cost center instead of a profit center with little return on investment? So a major mistake is relying on training as the go-to solution for performance problem, even when the root cause may not be skill-related. So only problems caused by a lack of skill or knowledge fall under the influence of L&D. The flowchart on the slide presents a set of questions HR and manager should ask themselves to determine if L&D is the right approach or if other solutions are needed for non-skill related issues. So in some cases, even after training, the situation remains unchanged, leading to frustration from management and stakeholders. This highlights the need for thorough training need analysis to ensure training efforts are targeted and relevant. So by carefully evaluating whether training is truly necessary, the companies can avoid wasted resources and ineffective programs. Okay, so I think that we can take a short break now. Now it's 10:30. Please have a 15-minute break and come back at 10:45. Okay, so thank you so much for your contribution and have a short break. See you. Hey, class, welcome back. Okay. Okay, so we continue with the TNA in the first step, analysis. So TNA or training need analysis systematically assess the need for learning and development across 3 key areas. Firstly, organizational context. When the company identify where training is needed within the company context, given the strategy, culture, and the business goal. Secondly, operational or task requirement, determining which specific tasks require instruction. And finally, individual need, pinpointing who need training and what specific knowledge, skill, and ability should be improved for this individual. The main objective of the TNA is to establish clear behavioral goals that serve as a guide for the training process and provide benchmark to evaluate its effectiveness. So firstly, the organizational analysis evaluate the companies as a whole to identify training needs that relate to performance metric, the integration of new employees, and ongoing initiative to enhance overall productivity. Its goal is to address the organizational weaknesses while strengthening existing competency by pinpointing areas where training can make a meaningful influence. Secondly, a task analysis or the operational analysis involves a detailed examination of the job to determine the specific skill required for optimal performance. This step uses JD, job description, and JS, job specification, two products of the job analysis as primary reference point, outlining the duties and skill necessary for the role. The managers can also identify training need by reviewing performance standards, performing the job themselves, or consulting current job holder and their supervisor. Finally, the personal analysis focuses on individual within a team, especially when projects or changes might affect team members. It also supports an employee personal development for future career growth. Analyzing employee training need can be challenging, but managers often use performance analysis to verify gaps in performance and identify training need. Additionally, competency assessment help uncover future training requirements for individuals. When conducting a training need analysis, TNA, there are common sources of information across 3 levels: organizational analysis, OA, task analysis, TA, and personal analysis, PA. For PA, key sources of information including performance appraisal, job-related performance data, and observation by supervisor. In TA, task analysis, managers often use a task analysis record form, which consolidate detailed information about a task and skill required for a job. This form outlines 6 key types of information, including skill and knowledge required. When conducting a TNA, it is essential to follow a standardized process. Here's an outline of the steps involved. Step 1, defining organizational goal. A TNA is typically initiated by an organizational issue. These problems might include losing an innovative edge or a sales team struggling to increase market share. It could also relate to new opportunities such as introducing new technology or process that require employee training, or preparing for future business opportunities to stay competitive. These challenges are closely related to the organizational goals. If they are not, the problem might not be critical enough to warrant training intervention. So when defining this goal, the companies focus on both hard metrics like financial performance, for example, revenue, profit, earning, growth, and softer outcome like customer satisfaction and loyalty. Step 2, define relevant job behaviors. The next step is to clearly identify the job behavior that will contribute to achieving the company's business goal. For example, consultants aiming to sell their services must develop skills such as building relationships, spotting opportunities, providing solutions, and closing deals. Step 3, define the required knowledge and skill. When the relevant job behaviors are defined, the next step is to break them down into the specific skill and knowledge needed to perform this behavior effectively. The final step is the actual training design. This involves taking the learning outcome identified in the step 3 and working with the training providers. So the table on the slide offers key questions to guide each step of the training need analysis process. And to save time, you can refer it at home. So to better understand how this works in practice, let's take the example of an email marketing executive. Firstly, start by identifying the overall objective of the role. For example, for an email marketing executive, the goal might be to increase email campaign engagement or conversion rate. Secondly, identify the critical behaviors needed to meet this goal. For example, creating compelling email content or managing audience segmentation effectively. Next, break down this behavior into the necessary knowledge, skill, and ability. And finally, evaluate the employee's current KSA to identify gaps. Based on this assessment, identify where training is required and what kind of training is needed. This approach enables enterprises to create personalized training plans tailored to individual needs, leading to more effective development and performance improvement. The next stage, developing specific learning activities based on identified needs. So in the design phase of the AD model, the companies translate all the information from the previous stage, the analyze stage, into a learning design. This will include an outline to structure the learning intervention, specify learning objective, learning sources, and other instructional methods. The designs should include summaries of how you plan to set a training environment that motivate your trainee both to learn and to transfer what they learn to the job. Like Mr. Elias had mentioned, the non-judgmental environment where students feel encouraged and motivated to learn. So when crafting learning objectives, it's crucial to clearly define the measurable outcome that trainees should achieve by the end of the program. For example, if the sales team is currently performing 20% below the target, The objective might be to equip them with the necessary skill and knowledge to increase sales by at least 30%. So, however, training design often faces constraints such as budget limitation and time pressures. So, in that case, HR practitioners must tailor the program to ensure its benefit outweigh the cost, potentially reducing multiple learning objectives to focus on the most critical one. In defining learning objective, Bloom's taxonomy is a fundamental tool, providing a structured framework for organizing educational goals. This hierarchy starts with basic knowledge recalled at the remember level and progresses toward the highest level, create, where learners produce new or original work. So using Bloom's taxonomy, educators can craft more precise, objective, and lesson plan that guide learners through this level. For instance, at the remember level, instructor can encourage students to recall key information by asking them to list the most important learning points during the class lesson. In the analyze stage level, a teacher can foster deeper understanding by sparkling discussion that relate course content to real-world application or compare different concepts. By aligning objectives with Bloom's taxonomy, the educator can also design assessment that match each learning level, ensuring that every part of training material is appropriate and aligned with the desired outcome. The clear expectation helps students take responsibility for their own learning, promoting meta-cognition and making the learning process more effective and structured. So, as you reflect on your past or current employment experiences, take some time to list down all of the learning and development activities you remember participating in. Once you have listed them, consider which of these activities align with your learning style and have had the most significant influence on your career development. Okay, Miss Olajolo, what is your experience? Tell me about your learning experience in your previous or current company.
Oh, hi, good morning.
Hello.
Okay, so what learning and activity did I participate during my past or current employment? Okay, so one of the learning what's it called that I participated on would be when we had to change a new software, we had to like progress to another software, we had to get let's start using QuickBooks. So like there was a training and it helped. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm coming. Can you still hear me? Can you?
Yes, I still hear you.
Yes,
Please go
we can
ahead.
hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically,
Now I cannot hear you, Miss Olajolo.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so as I was saying, like there was like an upgrade in our software. We had to move from using Sage 50 into using QuickBooks. So there was a training as regards that, which was like a bonus, and it was how will I put it? It was actually like an outsourced style that it was outsourced to a professional outside to come. So we had to shadow the person for like a week until we could get the hand of the QuickBooks software, basically. Does that answer the question in a way?
Okay, so from your sharing, I noticed that you joined the training program that the main purpose is to understand how to operate a software or system in your company. So looking back on this experience, are there any improvement you can think of to enhance your learning experience?
Sure, can you come again?
Yes, I still hear you.
Can you repeat the question, like what you said, please?
My question is that you mentioned you experienced the training program.
Yeah,
And the main purpose is to understand how to operate a system or software, for example. So
yeah.
Looking back on that experience, are there any improvement you think it should be implemented to enhance your learning experience?
Yes, there are, because I felt okay, so there could be some things that could have improved, probably like previous warning, okay, this is about to happen. How can we not just dumping things on your employee and be like, okay, you all have to take a training and you have to take the training no matter what. But sometimes probably like prior notice to the training kind of helps, because you're not blinded by what's coming up. So you kind of like, aware, not just put the training on the person, like implement the training on them. I think that would have helped prepare like the mental states before then.
Okay, so thank you so much for your sharing, Mr. Olajulu. Okay, Mr. Skid, I remember that you are still a student. I just graduated from the university. So I think that your experience in the university has a lot of things to share. So looking back on your previous experience in the university, how was your learning experience, and are there any improvement you think it should be implemented? Mr. Skid, yeah?
Hello. Can you ask me again?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. So just looking back on your university life, your learning experience. So how was it? And are there any improvement you can think of?
Yes, I have many improvement in my this college life and university life. It's very I meet a lot of people and I have created a lot of I knew a lot of the business term and like everything I need to know about the everything I need to know about this degree. So it's very great for me. The learning is not enough for everyone, you know. So every time I need to learn, need continuously learn. So or if you learn this one about every subject you learn, as you know about that, that's provide your career, and that's very good for you. So
What is your
yeah,
major? What is your major?
business administration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So from the rate 1 to 10, so
yeah.
what is your evaluation of your learning?
Like rate from 1 to 10 is I I give 8
Eight?
because because I'm very at my school life, learning is only when I can learn because I have no work experience, so the only one I can do is on learning in the class.
Learning in the class. Okay.
Yes, learning in class. So and at my college, I am the only one person in the class.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Only one person in the class. So I'm the teacher is like face to face, and the only one to attend us.
Well, really? Wow. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, were there any challenges that you faced in that kind of learning?
Yeah, like kind of challenge is like doing a project or something assignments. I have only one guys in a room and I get only one. And but I have some kinds of uh my seniors and my junior, so they can they help sometime for my assignments or some kind of projects, but I'm the only one in the last semester in the last final semester final year. I'm the only one guy, so I do all myself in myself.
Yeah. You mentioned that the majority of time is was spent on learning in the class. So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, are there any ways of learning that you think?
Yeah, sometimes this like only kinds of class learning is not provided for my career. Like I can adhere some kinds are told about their work experience and some kinds of their what they do and what their problem with some kind of said about it. I can't tell anything about my work experience and where's my problem with in work life. So there's kind of lack of my career.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that your learning experience was very special. Yeah. But uh how was the teacher support in your learning?
Teacher is very useful because I'm only one guy. So every teacher is focused on me and then he asked me about batch, what should you do and what should I do, and they'll every time they'll in a class I have very pressure with the teacher because every question is on me and every kind of uh every answer is from me. So.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult challenge for me. Sometimes I have a bad situation, you know, like my health is not good, or sometimes I'm very sleepy, or sometimes I'm not interested in a class. So at the time they ask me about a question, I have very oh, what should I answer and what should I do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that way. Because I'm a student, that I have not interested in the class, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm only 21 and I'm at that time at my school life, my age is was about 18 or 20, 18, 90, so like that age I have girlfriend and so some kinds of my life and my school life is very messy with stuff.
I agree that learning along with your teacher might be challenging and created a lot of pressure. But
Yeah.
honestly, how did teacher support contribute to enhance your learning effectiveness, in your opinion?
Yes, teacher sport is very I get a lot of teacher sport because I'm only one guy.
Mhm.
So the assignment, if I do assignment, there's some kinds of I think at my second year, I have a lot at the course of I think it's communication skill. Yeah, it's the subject communication. I'm a subject communication. I have wrong with the I read the wrong question. So I mess up the whole assignment. So teachers test me, hey, Nelinta, where's your assignment? Teacher Hill, this is my assignment. No, just not your assignment. This other class, I mess with the junior, like I read the question, wrong question. I read wrong question. This question is for my junior, and I read that question. I answered the assignment. So teacher said to me, no, this is your junior question, not you for you. You are here's. Oh shit, I got the now at the I'm rewrite this assignments for like teachers give me more time for that assignment. So I like that great. Teacher is very supportive for me because this in my country in Myanmar, like teachers are very close with the student, and every time they give assignments or they give project, they contact us, call me, hey, Skid, are you doing the assignment, or have you need help? You need help? Like every time they ask me, so I get a lot of support from my teacher.
Okay, Mrs. Skid, thank you so much for your sincere experience. Actually,
you.
I think that teacher support is essential to motivate and to keep the student growing. But the patient is very important to ensure that they are comfortable with learning. Yeah, and I believe that everyone will have the distinct learning experience, and everyone have the specific learning style that will significantly contribute to enhance skill and knowledge for oneself. So it's very important that you understand what kind of learning that significantly contribute to your learning and choose the most appropriate way to enhance. So it's evident that there are many different learning sources and learning activities available. From Mrs. Skid's experience, it is classroom learning, where he's directly learns with his teacher face to face. But we have a lot of learning activities, and each one affect learners in unique ways depending on the learner's learning style and preferences. A widely used framework is the 70, 20, and 10 models, which suggests an optimal combination of learning and development activities to maximize the effectiveness. The 10% of learning come from formal education, such as traditional course and training program. The 70% stem from social learning, which include coaching, mentoring, and collaboration with co-workers and classmates. 70% of learning happens through hands-on experience, where employees learn by doing. This is considered the most effective form of development, as it enables employees to refine their job-related skills, solve real-world problems, interact with key individuals, and receive immediate feedback. This model helps organizations structure their L&D program to blend formal education with experiential and social learning, enhancing overall development outcome. Like in the beginning of our class, you remember that Ms. King has mentioned 2 learning activities that she engaged. The learning in the classroom and learning from her line managers and her classmates, her co-workers. So you can see that the 2 experiences, Ms. King has 2 learning activities that Ms. King has experienced related to the first 2 components of this model. the 10% the formal learning, and the 20% informal social learning. Okay, so yes, I see that Mr. Ming had mentioned, I love on-the-job training the most. So just tell me your experience. What do you think that on-the-job training is beneficial to your personal development, and you love this kind of learning the most?
For me, because I think on-job training get the direct answer for me. Because working with senior engineers, sometimes as I'm an electrical engineer, we have to read a lot of manual book, and sometimes some area doesn't that doesn't read in a manual book, so I have to teach from my senior. So uh uh, uh it's how can I say, it's easy to learn on in the real time. So I think I remember that kind of thing more than learning in the classroom. Or that's just my opinion.
Yes, we love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You mentioned that the benefits that the on-the-job learning can bring to the learners is the easiness to learn and learning in the real time. That are a very important key point when it comes to the on-the-job experience. Yeah, and from your experience, learning from the more senior engineers can be more beneficial and can bring immediate influence on your learning.
Yeah, of course.
Compared to learning from the manual book. Yes,
Yeah.
totally agree. But just wait a minute. Looking back on that experience, were there any challenges when you learn from the more senior engineer? Are there any obstruction or difficulties when you absorb the information from the more senior engineer?
Please question again.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you face any difficulties or challenges when you get the information from the more senior engineer?
No, I don't have any difficulty when I learn from my senior engineer. Yes, of course. I must have some business knowledge for the learning from my senior engineer, because if you don't have a business knowledge about electrical, so even though senior engineers learn about the process, if you don't have a business knowledge, you don't get the knowledge. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mr. Ming hasn't faced any challenges in absorbing information from the more senior engineer, and I'm so happy to hear that, because in reality, the most talented pupil may face problems when conveying message, when delivering the instruction to others, because not many people good at instructing. It requires the specific knowledge and technique of instructing other pupil, not only depending on the technical competency or expertise. So for the on-the-job learning, it is one of the most beneficial learning for the employees compared to the formal learning or informal learning, like Mr. Ming has already mentioned. It's easy to learn. It helps the learners to learn in the real time, but it requires skill and experience of both the learners and also the more senior person to ensure that the understanding and the absorbing of information is achieved. And we will analyze more deeply in this aspect later on. So thank you so much, Mr. Ming, for your contribution. Okay, so the first component of formal learning typically falls into three key subcategories. Firstly, mindset training. So mindset refers to how individuals perceive and approach the world. The mindset training is essential, especially for the first-time managers, as it contributes to shift their perspective from individual contributor to leaders, allowing them to think and act with a broader, more strategic outlook. Secondly, the skill set training focuses on how individuals act and behave based on their abilities and mindset. This type of training equips employees with necessary skill to perform their roles effectively. It involves developing a tailored learning plan by identifying skill gap between individual current ability and the roles required standard. Finally, tool set training. The tool sets include methods, techniques, models, and framework individuals use to enhance their competency and achieve their goal. The tool set training ensure employees have access to and know how to use the right tools for learning and development. The HR provides these resources and guide employees in leveraging them effectively for success in their role. So there are some learning methods of formal learning, like the in-class training, like Mr. Skip has experience, the e-learning, like Ms. King has experience, gamification, employee educational resources library. This is a single source access for personalized and self-directed learning. This can be considered as the place learners can find all-inclusive learning materials. And finally, the bite-sized learning. The bite-sized learning refers to a learning approach that breaks down educational content into small, easily digestible segments that can be quickly consumed by learners. These short learning units typically focus on a single topic or concept and can be a short video posted on TikTok or YouTube, for example. So, in your opinion, what factors have contributed to bite-sized learning rising popularity in recent time? So, what is your opinion, Mr. Francis?
Hi. Hello. Sorry, I'm in Ethiopia. I'm not sure whether my internet is okay.
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay. So yeah, for this bite-sized learning, I think it's also known as I think it's micro learning. Is it the same that we are
Yes.
talking about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So yeah. So this is definitely useful when you have a busy work schedule, and then that if you have limited time for this, and then you have a short time, then you can use a short time to learn and go to the section, and then have all the information, and you can actually learn from it over there. That's and I also think that because of this learning popularity, it also uses the maybe mobile technology, allow people to access it freely, anywhere, anytime. And yes, so it's convenient. So that's I think is very, very convenient. I'm not.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Francis, for your contribution. From your sharing, there are two keywords that I can take. Firstly, time efficiency. Yeah. Especially for the working professional, when you are very busy and have limited time, the buy-side learning can be suitable with the busy schedule, allowing for quick and flexible learning section. And secondly, you mentioned the accessibility, because it is just a small section, so it can be accessed on smartphone, tablet, and other devices. So the learning will be more convenient and allowing individual to learn anytime and anywhere. So I make some similar additional information. Another benefit that the buy-side learning can bring to the learners is related to the attention span. So shorter section align with the attention span of modern learners, helping maintain focus and engagement throughout the learning process. It is especially correct with the Gen Z, the Generation Z. They have the very short attention span, and if the learning session is too long, it cannot keep them focused. And finally, and by breaking the content into smaller, manageable pieces, the bite-sized learning enhances retention. When the learners can fully grasp the concept at a time without feeling overwhelmed. And finally, the personalization. The learner can select the content that fit their need and creating a more tailored and relevant learning experiences. So in brief, the buy-side learning or the micro learning you have mentioned offers an efficient, flexible, and engaging method for acquiring new knowledge and skill. So it's the reason why it gained popularity in recent years. So thank you so much, Mr. Francis, for your contribution. So the second component of the 70, 20, and 10 learning model, accounting for 20%, is social learning, which involves learning from others, such as managers, peers, and expert network. Key activities under this component include fostering learning-oriented relationship like mentorship, peer network, and community of practice. Secondly, assigning mentors and coaches who challenge and support learners' development, focusing on real-world experiences to drive learning. So, example of social learning include Learn, Do, Share program, where the companies encourage learners to share opinion and key takeaways after completing training courses. The skill sharing through discussion or workshop, such as a guest speaker series, Think, Pair, Repair section, where learners share and discuss day-to-day challenges with their co-worker, and coaching and mentoring program. The mentoring and coaching are the two distinct but related concepts. A mentor shares their knowledge and experience to help employees grow, while a coach guides individuals toward achieving their personal or professional goals. I think I should keep. Okay, so just tell me about your experience. Have you ever had a coach or mentor? Can you describe them? And in your opinion, how does having a coach or a mentor benefit your career and personal development? I think that Mr. Ming will have experience on that question, because you mentioned about you learn from other senior engineer. So basically, do you have the specific coach or mentor assigned to your learning? And can you describe them?
Okay. Sometimes for the solar installation survey is as a junior, even though I'm a junior engineer, I have to do it myself. So my senior engineer making a list what to do step by step. One example 1 to 10 or one like that. You have to do by step. You have to do step by step like that. So it's really helping me as a junior engineer because as far as I don't know, or I didn't know where I have to start but after they given me the guideline, it was easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they provide you with the step-by-step instruction, the guideline,
instruction, the
easy
guide.
to follow. Okay.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what key qualities or competency do you think are essential for someone to become a successful coach or mentor?
I think what the where is the subordinates needed to develop his skill. Uh, that's the most important things I haven't figured.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Ming, for your sharing experience.
Yes, thanks.
Miss Tin Lai, so tell me about your learning experience. Have you ever been assigned a coach or mentor for your learning? And can you describe them?
Yeah. In my previous learning at university, our university has mentor-mentee programs, and also all the students, including me, have the Korean teacher for my learning. So at the time, senior student is the mentor for junior student. There are lots of volunteer for mentor-mentee programs. So I also tried it. At the time, we have to pay a long time to improve junior student about learning because there's a lot of student in 1 year, so the teacher cannot get all the students to improve about learning. So we all this the senior has to be volunteer. I think it may be peer learning. So sometime when the junior student when the junior student didn't get good results at the time, the lecturer and also the guardian choose which senior should be for that junior student. So and also we have the Korean teacher. What happened to me? I think it may be 5 students per one Korean teacher. What happened to me? We have to inform all the cases to the teacher, including personal cases like family income, and also we I think some student has the problem about attending the university because their family cannot support at the time. The teachers and some student has to do fundraisers to support their student. So I think coach and mentor can support benefits for my learning.
Yeah, interesting, Miss Tin Lai. Actually, I'm so happy that in your university life you have the mentor to support your learning, and
Yeah.
I believe that this experience was beneficial to your learning a lot and help you to overcome some of the learning difficulties. I heard you mention that the mentor in your university life are the senior student.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, in your opinion, what the key qualities, competency, or specifically the knowledge skill do you think are essential for someone to become your successful mentor?
I think the basic thing may be active listening, because all the students are various. I think personality is not the same. So
Yeah.
some student didn't have no idea why to choose this major, and also they don't know what had to learn or study about that major. So at the time, the first thing we need to do is active listening, and also we at the after listening, we know about their issue, and we have to ask for some help from our guardian teacher about helping their student. So I think active listening may be the basic thing.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Tin Lai, for sharing your interesting learning experience in your university life. Thank you. And listening or being patient is very important for those who are a mentor, because they create a comfortable environment for the mentee to share their problems, share their experience, and comfortable with asking for help. Thank you so much for your opinion, Miss Tin Lai.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as presented on the slide are some distinguishing aspects to spot the difference between the coach and the mentor, or coaching or mentoring. So coaching is a partnership that helps individuals maximize their potential by fostering creativity and growth. It enhances skill, confidence, communication, and relationship, especially in areas like leadership in development, organizational behavior, employee well-being. The mentoring involves a more experienced person offering advice and support to someone less experienced. So in Miss Tin Lai case, this is the more senior student offering mentor to junior ones. So the mentoring focuses on building trust and communication, often helping in career development. Like Miss Tin Lai mentioned, that listening or being patient is very important. So effective mentoring benefits both mentor and mentee, fostering mutual learning. So in brief, having a coach or mentor provide valuable guidance, helping individuals navigate career challenges, set goals, and develop essential skills. They offer insights based on experience, accelerate the participant learnings, and expand the professional network. A mentor can also provide constructive feedback, enhance confidence, and keep individuals accountable, ultimately enhance both career goals and personal development. So the final and most critical component of learning activities is on-the-job learning, which focuses on development through hands-on experience. This involves daily tasks, problem solving, and practice, especially in diverse opportunities like cross-functional roles, new market, and new client engagement. So in the 70-20-10 models, addressing performance problems should prioritize learning solutions that are immediate and practical, with on-the-job learning, the 70% taking precedence. Activities include job rotation, secondment, apprenticeship, and new assignment. Hands-on experience is emphasized because it promotes learning through direct practice, allowing individuals to sharpen job-specific skills. Like Mr. Ming has mentioned, it allows him to learn in real time. Secondly, the hands-on experience encourages problem-solving, independent decision-making, learning from mistakes, and being open to feedback from the participants. So it allowing them to develop significantly. Okay, so looking at the 70-20-10 learning model, where do you think our advanced human resource management course fit within this framework? So to save time, let me tell you. So our in-class session represent this 10% formal learning, where I deliver theoretical knowledge and key HRM concept to you. However, this learning alone is not enough for deep understanding and long-term application. So for that reason, beyond lectures, I strongly encourage class discussion. Since our participants come from various industry and background, these discussions that represent 20% social learning component allow you to gain valuable insight from your classmates, making the learning process richer and more practical. So even for me, as your instructor, these exchanges are opportunities to learn a lot from all of you. Ideally, the 20% should extend beyond the classroom through peer discussion and networking. However, due to the nature of our program, students from different countries, even different time zone and professional setting, post-class interaction is limited. So to compensate for this, I highly recommend you to actively engage in class discussion and then join the HR-related communities and connect with industry professionals on LinkedIn. Engaging with leaders and practitioners in your field will significantly enhance your understanding and exposure to real-world HR challenges. And the 70% learning by doing is the most critical component. Learning through hands-on experience in your daily work. The concept introduced in class may seem extensive, but they will hold little value if not applied in practice. In reality, without real-world application, you may forget much of what you have learned after completing your exam and the course. So as you may notice, each phase in the talent stewardship model we have covered so far is interconnected and designed to help you build and optimize your team. Now remember the phase 1, acquire, hiring the right talent. You understand the HR planning, job analysis, and talent acquisition to ensure that you have the right people brought into your company. The second phase, which we have learned in the class in last week, assessing performance accurately. You learn how to master performance appraisal technique while recognizing and avoiding common evaluation biases. And phase 3, in our class today, we learn how to develop our team by using the performance assessment insight gained from the second phase. We understand how to guide, support, and create tailored development plans that align with both individual capability and career aspiration. And the phase 4, retaining talent, we will delve deeply into this phase in our next class. After developing your team and identifying high potential employees, the next crucial step is implementing the right strategy to enhance engagement, foster loyalty, and sustain their commitment. So unlike conventional HR courses designed for HR specialists, my teaching approach is tailored for people manager, those responsible for leading teams and maximizing their subordinate potential. Rather than memorizing HR process, like the exact step of a recruitment process or how to conduct the performance evaluation step by step, things I don't want you to do. What truly matters for me is your ability to apply the HR strategies to lead and develop your team effectively. What I truly hope for by the end of this course is that through both my sharing and the diverse perspective you gain from your classmates, you will walk away with practical technique and real-world insight to tackle one of the biggest challenges in people management, optimizing talent within a company. And above all, I want you to see HRM is not as an isolated function, but it is the interconnected process working toward a common goal, ensuring the right people are in the right role and continuously developing to drive the business success. So it's the main goal and my expectation for your learning in this course. It's not necessary to remember all of the terms, all of the steps introduced in the course, but at least after completion, you gain the experience, you gain the key, the tips to effectively hire, assess, develop, and retain your talent. Okay, so I think that is enough for our morning session. It's a lot of information, a lot of terms, but I think that it will be beneficial for you to understand this aspect, this term, before we move to the case study and exercise in the afternoon section. So I wish you have a good lunch break, and please come back at 2 p.m. and we will analyze some case study and best practices in the learning and the development industry. So thank you so much and have a nice lunch.